Chapter 2. Wanda, the Wise Willow.
On your mark,
said Omari, and they both lunged forward.
Get set,
continued Omari. Molly and Omari both put their hands on their bent knee.
Go,
shouted Omari, and the pair took off running as fast as they could to the creek. Molly realized that she got a little faster over the summer, and perhaps she could beat Omari this time in a foot race. In one big burst of energy, Molly sprinted ahead of Omari. But her lead was fleeting. It was no use. Omari surpassed her, and the next thing she knew, she was watching his back speeding toward the finish line. The ends of Omari's red headband settled down as he came to a stop. Molly's ponytail settled back to its center as she too came to a stop. Huffing and puffing, the two continued toward the creek, walking this time to catch their breath. It didn't take long for them to begin breathing normally, and they chatted happily about different things along the way.
What was your favorite part of the summer?
Molly asked Omari.
Probably hiking up the mountain with my parents,
answered Omari.
Or swimming at the lake.
What was yours?
Not sure. There were a lot of things I liked about the summer. But my favorite was just hanging out on my porch with my family, answered Molly thoughtfully. Mom and I made lemonade together, and our family hung out a lot and just talked. This wasn't something we usually did, so it felt special.
When Molly and Omari reached the creek, they quickly picked up some smooth, flat stones and got ready to skip them across the water. Omari went first, eager to show off his newfound skill. He stood in the correct position, leaned his body to one side, flicked his wrist, and sent that flat rock sailing across the water, skipping once, twice, 3 times, 4, 5, and wow, a 6th time! A new record! Molly went next, skipping her flat stone once, twice, 3 times, then 4, and that was it. But Molly was more pleased that Omari could finally skip rocks, even if he did outshine her. Molly cared more about doing the activity together, and she was happy for Omari that he had finally gotten the hang of it. The two continued until they reached their favorite tree. They sat down under the huge willow tree and waited. Just then, a gentle breeze began to blow Molly's red ponytail and the ends of Omari's red headband. They looked at each other and smiled. The willow's leaves began rustling, as if they were whispering something important. Molly and Omari stood up, faced the massive brown trunk, and waited. Suddenly, a face appeared on the trunk of the tree, and a lovely woman's voice rang out. "Well, well, well," said Wanda the Wise Willow. "Why, it's my favorite humans coming to visit me." Molly giggled.
How are you, Wanda?
asked Omari. "Oh, I'm just grand. And how are you, my precious ones?"
Well, Omari just beat me in a race and in skipping stone, so I could be better,
Molly said, laughing.
But other than that, we're trying to make the most of this last day of summer. Yeah, any advice for us, Wanda?
asked Omari.
Starting the new school year in these crazy times feels so weird.
Wanda's leaves began rustling. Her branches began moving as if in a dance, and Wanda began to speak. No one else was around, but if there had been others within earshot of Wanda's voice, they wouldn't have been able to hear what Wanda said. Only Molly and Omari could hear her. Wanda the Wise Willow's words to Molly and Omari would prove very useful in the days to come. Molly and Omari thanked Wanda for her advice, hugged her massive trunk, and began walking back toward their neighborhood. As they got closer, they stopped for a moment. Without a word to one another, they each pulled something out of their pocket.